Okay, so I had forgotten to connect the power cable and the camera went off twice. So I was explaining the elements of argument, and I said the first element of an argument is claim. And I said in paragraph 4, the thesis statement is the central claim of this essay. Or you can say major claim of the essay, right? Now, every time you read an essay, look for the major claim. Here is an example. Second is, after claim, you look for reasons that the writer brings to support the claim. For example, from culture to culture, the language of space has distinctive accents and confusing umlauts. One claim. Now ask a question, why? Why is it so? Why is it so? Then if you come to paragraph number 14, for example. If you come to paragraph 14, he says that in paragraph 5, let's say, paragraph 5 brings example of an Arabian, right? Then brings an example of an American. The Arabian stays close. The American maintains distance. And when they talk together, as in scene 1, para 1, the American feels bullied. The Arabian feels chilled. Now the reason is in para 14, where writer says, Arabians use sense of smell and touch. Para 14 says, Americans use sense of sight. So if you depend on smell and touch, you have to come closer, because you know others by touching them, you know others by smelling them, so you have to come closer. But if you use sight and you come too close, zoom in, then I see only Miss Regmi. I don't see Miss, I don't see this Miss. Now if I zoom back, if I zoom back, if I zoom back, if I zoom back, if I zoom back and stand here, now I can see the whole class. Now I can see the whole class. So Americans back off in the elevator, for example. If they come in the elevator, they take the corner, because from the corner they can watch everybody. And if somebody is doing something wrong, they can run away or be safe. Now, Arabians, they don't use eyes. They use sense of smell and touch. So the Arabian will go so close, so close, so close. As close that they can smell each other's breath, or they might spit on the face. Reason, what I explained to you. Claim and reason. Claim, from culture to culture, people use space differently. Reason, some of them depend on sense of touch and smell, some of them depend on sense of sight. Claim and reason. Today I explain only two things. An argument has claim and reason. There are other elements like An argument has something known as warrant. An argument has something known as evidence, and other things I don't know. Other things I don't know. So the homework is, you will do some internet research this afternoon. You will Google. What will you search? Just type, what are the elements of an argument according to Stephen Toulmin? You will type this question in Google. What are the elements of an argument? What are the elements of an argument according to Stephen, 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 Toulmin, Toulmin. That's his full name. Stephen, Stephen, Toulmin, Toulmin. And in tomorrow's class, okay, raise your hand if you want to take a difficult challenge. Okay, Rupani says he will take. So Rupani, I give a difficult job. In tomorrow's class, Yashasvi will explain the concept of warrant.
Concept of
Warrant. Warrant. In argument. And I know it's difficult. And it will consume your day to day. And you enjoy a warrant. So Yashasvi will explain us what is warrant. Who wants to explain evidence? Okay, what's the name? Arya. Arya will explain us what is evidence. She'll explain. So Google, do internet research, take any help from anywhere, come with notes and explain what is evidence. Then there is something known as qualifier. Raise your hand if you want to discuss qualifier in tomorrow class. Raise your hand. Sir, I will explain qualifier. Someone please come on. You can Google, make notes and come to class and explain. It's an easy topic. Okay, what's your name? Prabhishna will explain qualifier. Good. Do some research, make notes and tomorrow explain. Then there is something known as rebuttal. What do we call? Rebuttal. Someone raise your hand if you want to talk about rebuttal. Google, do a study, and who would discuss rebuttal? R-E-B-U-T-T-A-L. Rebuttal. Hello? Come on. Raise your hand. Okay. Prasoon will explain what is rebuttal. Now, rest of the class, you have assignment for you. You will ask Divakar sir tomorrow very difficult questions on argument analysis, and I will answer. So you will ask Divakar sir some difficult questions that you think are really difficult, and Divakar sir will answer them. So rest of the class will come at least one question. Homework for you is, you will come to class with one question about argument that you want to ask Divakar sir. Okay? So that's the thing about argument for tomorrow. Now, today we have 30-minute time. Now, let me talk about something else. The second text in our course in Unit 1 is a coward. Can someone tell me what is the genre of this text? Is it an essay? Is it a poem? Is it a play? Is it a story? What is it? What is a poem? What is it? Someone tell me. Hello? Is Kawad a poem? You can check in a book. This is a Kawad is a story. So we are going to read a story. Okay? The another word to mean story is narrative. Now in this class I want to guide you regarding how to read a story, because reading a story is different from reading an essay. Essay has one set of elements, whereas stories have another set of elements. So what are the elements of a story? Okay, let's begin one by one. First is exposition. In exposition, you look for background setting. In setting, you ask a question. Where did this story take place? Where? You ask a question. When did this story take place? Time. Then you ask a question. How was the environment when this story took place? Time, place and environment. Background. 1. Exposition. Second, you look for characters in the story. You note their names. You note their role in the story. You note their habits. You note their attitudes about one another in the story. You note how they are dressed, for example. People, characters, people. Now, once you have people, what do people do? People talk. People talk. People cannot live without talking. Look how much noise you make in class, right? Not in my class. People talk. So when people talk, we say they have dialogue. What do you do here? Note any dialogue that seems interesting to you. You will not copy the whole story, but sometimes you see, Divakar sir, here, what the mother is saying to the daughter really touched my heart, and note down. Which dialogue really touched your heart? Where in the story tears came in your eyes? I had gone to watch Ghazani 10 years before. At one point in the movie hall, I cried. Where? The heroine has an impression of the hero's feet she brings home in a new house. And she puts that impression of the hero's feet. When I saw this dedication of the girl for the boy and the love, tears came from my eyes. Because today we don't see such a dedication in people. So as you read the story, ask yourself, which parts in the story make me shiver? Which parts in the story bring goosebumps? Which parts in the story bring tears? Which parts in the story make me laugh? And note them. They may be important dialogues. Now, when there are people talking, they not only talk, they do some action. They do some action. What is action? People doing something. For example, the story that you are going to read now opens with this action. There is a park in front of a college. It's evening, and a young girl is sitting in the park with a young boy. And the young girl and the young boy are talking about their love affair. This is the action with which the story starts. And the story ends with another action. I don't know, you find out. I don't know. Now, when you talk about action, I said, what people do, not say. Say is dialogue. Say is dialogue. What people do. Now, when you talk about action, then there is another term, plot development. If you watch average Bollywood, the movies start like this. The movie starts, the hero is on a bicycle, he has his small bhatija, and the hero is taking his bhatija to school nearby, and as the hero bicycles and comes to the chowk, there is red light at the chowk, and the hero happens to stop. Across the street, a beautiful expensive car arrives, and the car too stops because of red light, and from his bicycle, the Garib hero happens to look at the Dhani heroine in the car. And the moment this Garib hero has a glance of the Dhani heroine, the hero falls in love with the girl. And then Amrish Puri arrives in between. And Amrish Puri tries to keep this girl, poor rich girl and poor boy, from coming together till break time. Intermission. Even after break, Amrish Puri keeps fight. Some other people also come. Story moves. At the end, Amrish Puri gets defeated. Hero wins. Heroine runs away from her home. And they both come to a village in a poor house. And the hero has garland on heroine's neck. And they get married. And the end of the movie comes to an end. This is the formula for many old Bollywood movies. Not new, old movies of my time. So I remember this formula, right? Plot. So plot is series of events that take place one after another in the story. There is something. Okay, let me draw a picture. Okay. Here. Okay. A diagram. This is normal situation. Always you will see stories open with a very normal situation. Every time you read a story, you will see that the first chapter has very normal thing, ordinary description. You won't see any problem. Now, as you move this second, third, fourth paragraph of sections, you will see that someone does an action, and this action brings conflict in the story. Conflict. For example, in the story, marriage is a private affair by Chinua Achebe. Two young people are in college, like this one, and they fall in love. But the problem is that the boy belongs to one caste, one community, and the girl belongs to another community. They remain in love for many years. They don't tell the parents. Parents find another girl, and the father calls, "Come home." He goes home in summer vacation. He has a girlfriend in the college. "So I have found a girl." "Which girl?" "Daddy found that girl to marry me who used to beat me when I was a child." Daddy found a girl, neighbor's daughter, and daddy wants me to marry the neighbor's daughter. And when I was a child, that girl was a robust Amazon girl. She used to beat me. See the conflict. Now I have a problem. Oh God, I have a girlfriend in the college at Atiban. And when I come home, daddy wants me to marry a girl who used to beat me. Daddy took an action, decided to marry the son. And this action brought conflict. Then son comes back home, says, "Okay, daddy, I'll think." He can't say no because he can't say no to daddy. He comes home, and then later he marries that girlfriend. But he cannot tell his daddy. He marries secretly. And daddy doesn't know. Parents don't know. Then as he marries, 1 plus 1, they become 2. 2 plus 1, they become 3. 3 plus 1, they become 4. 10 years pass. And daddy does not know that he has married already in the village, in the city. Then one day, the child says, "Mama, Mama, he is my papa, but where is grandpapa?" The baby says, "Everybody has grandpapa, grandmama. Where is my grandpapa, Mama?" Then the mother starts crying because she knows that grandpa will not accept them, intercaste marriage. Then, see the crisis. She cries. The mother cries when the baby says, "I want to see grandpa." Then what she does? She writes a letter. Or before that, the son sends a picture home. The son sends a picture home through post office with his wife. And daddy gets the picture, and what does he do? Oh God, I'll tear it. Okay? The picture comes home through Wulac. Right? A beautiful picture. The son sent, "Daddy, this is your daughter-in-law." And what the father does? He tears and separates the boy and girl. And sends girl's photo back to the post office. And writes, "I don't want to see her face." And when the girl sees the torn half coming back home, she cries and cries. That's, we call this conflict complication. Things become complicated. And complication leads to crisis. Then one day, the child says, Mama, Mama, everybody has grandpa, grandma. Where are my grandparents? Then the daughter-in-law writes a letter to Sasura, where she says, Daddy, I won't come home because I don't belong to your caste. I understand your problem. But these children, they want to see grandpa. They are crying. So please allow your grandchildren to come home. I'll stay in the city. This letter melts grandpa's heart. And he starts thinking, oh, I'm cruel. Then he writes, daughter, come with the family. And then finally, the husband travels to village with the wife. And together, the whole family is together. And the story comes to an end. Sunnelai sunkumala, bannelai fulkumala, yo katha Vaikuntha jala, banne bala khuru khuru. Aula people say, I don't know. Have you heard this thing? Yes. I don't know how to do this in English. I gave you an example of Chinua Achebe's story. Private marriage is a private affair. Wonderful story. So you look for this. Now in the story Akka word, look how the story starts. Who does what? And in plot, somebody does an act. And when people do something, whatever people do, their actions make things worse. This is a tragic story. The story that we are going to read is a tragic story. Stories can be comic. Stories can be comic. A comic story ends in a happy way. A tragic story ends in a sad way. So this is a tragic story. And in tragic story, whatever people do in the story, it always brings problem. That's why as the story develops, things become worse and worse. At one point, you have crisis. You have crisis where there is climax. Somebody might die. Somebody might be murdered. Somebody may be divorced. Big action happens. And then gradually things cool down and solution appears, right? Now we have 10-minute time. Without wasting time, I want you to open the story and read it now. Somebody can borrow my book if you don't have one. Okay. So whoever can take it. Okay, read it now. Now read. Now for 10 minutes, carefully, with complete silence, read the story. Read the story. Read the story. Simply read it.